Welcome, everyone. It is the 9th of April, which means, well, I don't know. It's the 9th of April, I guess. Now, our first story is a tragedy, and it looks like it is unfolding in the Dominican Republic. It seems that there was a nightclub roof collapse, and they are projecting at least 98 people have lost their lives. Among them, singer Ruby Perez, who performed at Dominican Republic nightclub during roof collapse, among the 98 dead. And I forgot to say hello. I am Twitter pated this whatever day it is. Good Lord, I'm off. Good morning, Wolfram and Alice G, Fedorowski, Tammy C.A, Audio Coffee, and everyone else. Thank you for joining this morning. Sorry, I'm a little off. I don't know why. Broken Baker, I don't think too soon, but definitely I think this is going to be a developing story. We are going USSC, you have the best name I have ever seen in my entire life. Oh my Bob Ross, live long and prosper and keep that name forever. Merengue singer Ruby Perez, who was performing at the doomed nightclub in the Dominican Republic when its roof collapsed, is among the 98 people that have been declared dead. He was 69 years old, giggity, although not appropriate. Now, Perez's manager, Enrique Polano, confirmed the news of the musician's death. He did tell local media at the scene that the group's saxophonist was also crushed at the renowned Jet Set nightclub in Santo Domingo. Fair, I'll give you that. Baker, when we are both burning in hell, can you teach me how to do pastry, like rough puff and that kind of stuff? Because we're going to need to have something to do while it's hot outside. Now, following the news of his death, Perez's profile picture on Instagram was changed to black. However, no additional details about his death has been released, as crews are still searching for potential survivors in the rubble. Now, according to the singer's family, he was initially pulled out alive from the destroyed one-story nightclub after officials had found him singing. So he was singing to try to find him, which, again, just terribly sad. He was immediately transferred to the Plaza del Sol hospital for treatment, where he unfortunately succumbed to his injuries. Quote, "We hope to God that he recovers soon. He is injured, but hospitalized. They found him singing. He started singing so they could hear him. He always told me, if something ever happens to me, cover me so no one takes any pictures." His daughter, Zulinka Perez, told Spanish news outlet Noticias Telemicro before the death was confirmed. Now, the singer's brother, former Major League infielder Nefi Perez, was not present in the club during the tragedy. The beloved merengue singer released a total of 13 albums after kickstarting a solo career in 1987. Now, some of the albums went on to become certified gold in countries including Venezuela and the Dominican Republic, El Colombiano reported. Now, Perez was best known for hits like Volver and Buscando tus besos and Dame Veneno. Now, I took 4 years of advanced Spanish, and I don't know what any of that is. Look, I had children, and I lost the Spanish knowledge that I had. To be fair, I did learn the shark song, Baby Shark song, so swings and roundabouts, don't it? So this is the club, and it does look like it was a flat roof. I don't know if they had experienced a lot of water or a lot of rain, but flat roofs or roofs that have very low pitch can be quite dangerous if you don't have good drainage, because all of that water is quite heavy. A gallon of water weighs 8 pounds. Now, the only reason I know that is because I went way deep in the prepper hole during the coof. And, one of these survival guys was like, carry a laugh straw, because 1 gallon of water equals 8 pounds, and everyone needs a gallon of water a day. Now, I'm figuring if the rapture happens, that's less people drinking Coke Zero, and I can hit every convenience store and keep my Coke addiction alive, not law powder Coca-Cola. No. Look, I'm already too nervous and nevish. Can you imagine me on any sort of thing? I swear to goodness. Kathy Michelle is correct, or more corrector. Now, on Wednesday morning, Dominican Republic National Police confirmed on Instagram that the death toll had risen to 98 people, and a total of 155 people have been transported to local hospitals. We are continuing to clear debris and search for people, said Juan Manuel Mendez, director of the Center of Emergency Operations, on Tuesday night, according to the Associated Press. We're going to search tirelessly for people. Now, among the confirmed dead are several former athletes, including World Series champion Octavio Dotello and former Major League Baseball player Tony Blanco, the father of current Pittsburgh Pirates prospect Tony Blanco Jr. Now, Dotel, who started with the Mets as a prospect and won a ring with the St. Louis Cardinals, may you never win another World Series. Look, y'all, I can carry a grudge. I mean, look at this red hair. Now, I'm not telling you that I pray every year, and I don't know nothing about sports ball, but I pray every year that St. Louis will lose just because my first boyfriend who screwed me over loved them. So every year, like, as you know, I notice baseball is coming. I'm like, dear tiny baby Jesus, I know I'm not supposed to carry a grudge, but if you could make St. Louis lose because so-and-so was an asshole, thank you very much, and thank you for all my blessings. Love you. Amen. You are just being so mean to me right now. And God knew what he was doing by not giving or having me born in the UK. I would look like, well, Viola after she ate the blueberry thing. So, and Tony Blanco played briefly with the Washington Nationals, and he passed away shortly after the roof caved in. Now, Dotel was pulled alive out of the rubble, but died during transport to the hospital, according to MLB reporter Hector Gomez. Now, the head of emergency operations, General Juan Manuel Mendez, confirmed to Noticias SIN that Dotel 51 had accompanied Blanco 45 to the famed venue, which often hosts live performances during the week. Nestle Cruz, the governor of Montecristi, was also among the dead. Now, Cruz is the sister of the former Major League slugger Nelson Cruz. So, all right, you guys have tempted me. I have answered the call, and Mr. Mo said we needed to buy hangers, so I'm getting a pudding steamer pot thingy. I'm buying it. Like, it's a necessity. It really is. I need to learn how to bake things off of the British Bake Off so I can have a sweater off with Noel. That being said, this is probably not the article to have all this random talk in. So I do hope that they get some answers for this for all of the families. This is incredibly tragic. And I'm sorry to start the morning off this way, but this is going to be really big news. And I see this story, unfortunately, the body count getting higher and people, you know, hopefully there's some miracles, but I don't think that might happen. And hopefully they get answers as to what caused this tragedy and prevent it in the future. Well, this heifer, Lord Chippy attendants, to your stations, and everyone, if you are wearing earbuds, gird your ear loins because Lord Chippy is a-comin'. Enter Lord Chippy. This rank heifer who just couldn't do the world a favor and win a Darwin Award before she decided to be a gross piece of trash, allegedly, in Minecraft. The Illinois teacher, Christina Formello, left her new husband totally in the dark about a relationship with a 15-year-old. I mean, abusing a 15-year-old. New York Post, I fixed that for you. Thank you. Oh, she's crying. She has tears. Aren't you sad? Aren't you sad? It's because she's purty. The Illinois teacher accused of SAing a 15-year-old student claimed to the boys or to the cop that the boy was a quote unquote stalker and that her new husband knew all about the so-called obsession with her after she was arrested. But according to Christina Formelia's ex-college basketball or no, I'm sorry, baseball player spouse, he said that he was totally in the dark about the boys according to the documents. Now, Formella, 30 years old, of the Chicago suburb of Downers Grove, tried to play off the allegations that she had a months-long relationship with the teen, which he said culminated in them doing the, well, I guess, married teacher mambo, the hoe shuffle, in a classroom as another boy obsessed with the teacher. Sorry, wait. As the boy obsessed with the teacher because she's good looking. It's hard to be this beautiful, and everyone's mean to you because you're beautiful. Ma'am, you are only beautiful because at that time you were able to spend 13 hours on your makeup. Once you get a couple weeks in, you're going to go from Courtney Clenny to Courtney Clenny in jail. She's going to find carbs and Jesus. Now, throughout her interview, Formelia tried to paint the accuser as her stalker, and she claimed that her husband was aware, the documents read. But it was all news to Michael Formelia, who married his college sweetheart, Christina, last summer, and about 6 months after the alleged abuse happened, according to documents. Now, oddly enough, her husband told detectives that he knew nothing about the accuser beyond his status as a soccer player, investigators wrote. Now, according to torrid diary entries, you are such a dumb cahoon. You wrote down your crimes. Awesome job. Book of premeditation. Have fun with that. Don't drop the soap or do. I don't really know your proclivities, ma'am, and I don't care to. Now, these were all on her phone. Oh my gosh. Don't put your crimes on your iPhone, people. She seemed to blame the teen for ruining her marriage, according to the documents. I went back and screenshotted every single time that I said that we should break up until after the wedding and after you graduated. And every single effing time you came back and convinced me it would be fine, she wrote. You ruined us. I warned you we should have never started dating a long effing time ago. And you gaslit me and convinced me it was fine. I am like effing mad I let a 16-year-old F with me like that. And in the end, we both lost. You lost the girl that would have stuck with you through thick or thin. Ma'am, you are going to get much more thick. Welcome to Carbtastic prison food. Have fun with that. She wrote later, expressing hope in the section titled Manifestations. Okay, note to millennials. You can manifest in one hand and, poo in the other and see which one fills up, first. Manifesting is basically making a wish on the universe. Good luck with that. That the boy would reach back out and mend their relationship. We will be in each other's lives like forever, and we will be able to love each other while also living our own lives, she allegedly wrote. Now, this poor bastard, someone needs to set up a GoFundMe for this man, find him a good side, find him a good rebound woman or a stripper. Now, the assault allegedly took place in a Downers Grove High School classroom in December 2023 when Formelia was a 28-year-old soccer coach and special education teacher at the school. She had been the boys' soccer coach and was giving him private tutoring sessions while the pair allegedly began messaging each other, which prosecutors said quickly escalated into inappropriate conversations and culminated in, the married hoe mambo in a classroom one morning, according to documents. Now, the alleged affair was discovered after the boy's mother recently found text messages on his phone from Formelia in which she professed to love him and talked about the smecks that they had, including one message where she said, "I love having smecks with you." Now, after her arrest, Formelia claimed to the police that the boy had planted the message on her phone as blackmail because I am so good looking. Everyone wants to be me. And it's embarrassing, but this face, it needs to be protected because people are jealous. Ma'am, miss me, miss me, miss me. You're a 6 girl next door. Look, I don't claim to be a 9.5, a 2, a 4, nothing. But ma'am, I don't go around telling people that I abused a teenage boy because I'm too pretty. So, swings and roundabouts. Now, while she denied ever doing the horizontal mambo, Familia later fessed up to the relationship with the boy. Prosecutor said, quote, "I, once again, from the day redacted, one called your next girlfriend, redacted girlfriend's name, uh, so you're effing predictable and disgusting. Shocker, you cheated on me with her. All I was someone to F. I'm not upset. I'm not mad. I'm not any of that. I've just lost interest. I went back and screenshotted every single time that you said we should break up after the wedding and after you graduated. And every single effing time you came back and convinced me it was going to be fine. I initiated every single breakup only for you to end things saying you couldn't get over it. You ruined us. I warned you we should have never started dating a long time ago. But you gaslit and convinced me it would be fine every single time because that's who you are." He's 15, ma'am. I don't know what the hell you're having a conversation about. We will never, ever be together, and we will never, ever, ever be back together because you're going to federal prison. Do, 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 do. You go talk to pedos, talk to your friends, talk to me. I don't know. It's a work in progress, guys. I'm going to work on it. I let a 16-year-old F with me again. Whatever. In the end, we both lost. You lost the girl that would have stuck with you. So this is basically all of that. Now, in addition, detectives found another note dated November 11th, 2024, which says the following in a relevant part: "Blank and I will connect again soon in a positive way. We will both get closure that we need in order to move on in a healthy way. We will be able to part each other's lives forever. We will be in each other's lives forever, and we will be able to love each other while living our own lives." Now, the defendant admitted that she knew the relationship was wrong, but she was unable to stop because she cares too much about him. Now, Formelia told investigators those writings were merely an outlet for anxiety and that any references to smecks were about her husband. Prosecutors requested that she be denied pretrial release, but she was let go on the condition that she not enter school grounds or have contact with anyone under the age of 18. She faces 2 charges of aggravated criminal SA and is due back in court on April 14th. Now, she started teaching at that high school in 2020 and has been paid on or placed on paid leave from the school. Well, I guess she'll have her honey bun count filled up for a little bit. Now, photos from their recent wedding showed the pair, dancing and looking at each other's eyes. Formelia was driving with her husband when police pulled her over and detained her over the rape allegation, and he appeared baffled and confused about what was happening. So, no, her husband was this gentleman, and the 16-year-old isn't mentioned or isn't shown pictures of, obviously, because he's 16 and he's already been through enough. So, young man, 16-year-old, I hope you heal. To this hoe's husband, I hope you heal too. To this hoe, don't drop the soap or do. I mean, you're probably going to switch teams, so it'll be okay. Well, we have an update on our morbidly obese, unaliver. He got his last meal, and they did manage to unalive him, even though he was chunky, which I didn't think was something I would ever have to say, but it was an article. A quote unquote morbidly obese convicted killer who kidnapped and strangled a Miami newspaper worker 25 years ago recited a Bible verse and munched on bacon, a candy bar, and ice cream, leading up to his unaliving in Florida by Florida and Jesus on Tuesday. Now, Michael Tanzi, 48, was given a fatal injection at a Florida state prison and pronounced no longer living at 6:12 p.m. for the ruthless unaliving of respected Miami Herald production worker Janet Acosta in April 2000. Now, as Acosta ate lunch in her van, Tanzi attacked and robbed her before driving the vehicle to the Florida Keys, where he gave her a neck hug and left her body on that particular island, according to authorities. Now, the murderer's legal team attempted to stop the execution by filing several appeals, including one based on an argument that he could not be killed because he was quote unquote morbidly obese and had sciatica, which would lead to a cruel amount of pain during the lethal injection. I'm sure he thought about that when he was giving the lady a neck hug. But the Florida Supreme Court decided that being chunky is not a defense, and they shot that plea down, stating his appeal was not timely because his condition was known about since 2009. Now, Tanzi's last meal consisted of a pork chop, bacon, baked potato, corn, soda, ice cream, and a candy bar, prison officials said, according to Newsweek. He also met with a spiritual advisor who was his only visitor ahead of his, final shuffle of this mortal coil. In his final statement, he directed his comments to the Acosta family. I want to apologize to the family, he said softly before reciting a Bible verse. Like, dude, you kind of broke like the big commandment. I mean, I know Jesus forgives and all, but the rest of us are allowed to think you're an asshole, okay? So, say the Bible all you want. When people prove who they are, listen, and you're a douche. Now, it managed that, and this is the beautiful woman that he took away from the world. Now, the hulking figure was convicted of first-degree murder, carjacking, kidnapping, and armed robbery, with a 12-person jury unanimously recommending the ultimate punishment. Tanzi bound and gagged Acosta and S8'd her during the terrifying last moments of her life. He drove to an isolated area in Cujo Key, told her he was going to unalive her, and began to strangle her, the State Commission on Capital Cases summary said. He stopped to place the duct tape over her mouth, eyes, and nose in attempt to quiet her, and then, gave her a neck hug. Now, Acosta had worked at the Miami Herald for 25 years and was remembered as a highly regarded, according to an article in the newspaper. It makes me want to cry, her coworker and close friend Carolyn Green told the outlet. That's why I haven't spoken about it. Janice was the nicest person you'd ever want to meet. It's done. Basically, justice for Janet happened, said Acosta's sister, Julie Andrew, who attended the execution. My heart felt lighter and I can breathe again. This is the third execution in Florida this year. Well, I do hope the family gets some sort of something out of this. It's never closure, but maybe a closing of one of the doors. Maybe it's something that they can do. And what a gross, disgusting human piece of just caca. Satan's ready to deal with you, sir. He has openings. Well, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but these bastards are back. So let's look at where these a-holes are coming out again. Cicadas are expected to emerge this spring, and here's where this brood has the highest chance of returning after 17 years and what they'll sound like. I RSVP the hell no to this. We had cicadas the year of the solar eclipse. I'm done. No, we are done with cicadas. Why do we need cicadas? I don't understand. What do? They live for like a day and a half, make babies that live underground for 7 years. What do they do for the environment? Again, if I were in charge of the ark, cicadas not coming with us. Like God, they slept through the RSVP 17 years. I'm sure they'll be fine. They're under the ground. For the first time in 17 years, a certain type of insect will emerge from the depths of hell, I mean, underground, and it could be coming to a state near you. Starting in late April, this brood will likely make its blockbuster appearance in 14 states across the eastern United States. Periodical cicadas, to be precise, which are different from the annual cicadas that appear every summer. Now, these types of insects spend most of their lives underground as nymphs or, baby cicadas. They get their nourishment from saps of tree roots and emerge every 13 or 17 years in groups called broods. This year, the brood is expected to emerge for the first time since 2008. Now, here is where the cicadas are likely to emerge and what their notorious sounds like. I'm not playing cicada, just know. John Barton, I invite Greta Thunberg to the middle of rural Indiana, and I will happily and personally light a tire fire to welcome her. Look, I am done with winter. Bring on global warming. Let's get tattooing here. But I'm not going to be lectured to by a 16-year-old. What is she, like 24 now? I mean, I know she's short because she was kind of dealt with food sensory issues and so she wouldn't eat. But honest to God, why the hell are we listening to this chick? I'm not. I want to be a good steward of the environment, but I'm not going to be a jerk to everyone. Why does everyone have to turn to a jerk? Just be good to the environment, recycle, and don't, be a jerk face and make it some social virtue signal. Now, let's look at this map and make sure. Oh, hell no. You get all them blue dots off of Indiana. How dare you? I object. Now, this brood is expected to emerge in the following states based on where they appeared in the past, according to Cicada Safari, a group that crowdsources and reviews data on cicadas. And Mother F, Indiana is first, followed by Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Maryland, New York, New Jersey, and Massachusetts. The University of Connecticut says that this specific brood of cicadas exists in 4 different patches, a large central patch extending from northeast Georgia to southern Ohio, a smaller patch in central Pennsylvania, populations on Long Island, New Jersey, and populations on Cape Cod, Massachusetts. They fly down. How do you shoot them down from the arc? This is America. We're going to have, of course, state-of-the-art tennis ball cannons from American Gladiator. Of course, I won't be in charge because I have terrible aim. Now, when will they emerge and how long will they stay? The periodical cicada nymphs usually wait until the soil temperatures 6 inches below ground warms to 64 degrees. So there you go. Just when you thought summer was safe, cicadas. So it looks like April for northern Georgia, southern Tennessee, and Carolina. And then May for central Ohio, northern Tennessee, western Virginia. And look, this is going to be horrible. You can't even open your window. But I don't understand what the cicada actually does for humanity. I just don't. All right. On to the next story, and this is somewhat sad. A Maryland man on a paradise vacation to the Bahamas with parents was found no longer living hours after arriving on the island. So I do believe that this might be a bigger case to look at because of, just the different interplay between different countries and how that's going to work. And welcome Tracy IE and Tammy Bogard, KU Thunder, Greedy Bloke, Audio Coffee, Slinky, John Barton, I can't read. A Maryland man vacationing with his family in the Bahamas was found dead at a private beach resort. Now, this is hours after he landed on the Caribbean island, as his mother is claiming that her son was bludgeoned to death. Denari McAlmont, 23, traveled to the tropical getaway with his parents on April 4th, where they'd been staying at the Atlantis Paradise Island Resort. McAlmont, who is from Bowie, Maryland, was last seen having dinner with his parents when he left to grab a jacket and explore the resort before 9 p.m., according to the Fox 5 Washington, D.C. affiliate. Resort officials questioned his mother on where he was as they accused him of spitting on several staff members inside the restaurant. The police said they were looking for him because apparently he spat on some of the staff in the restaurant. Michelle McAlmont told the outlet, "Oh crap, dude. Like, you do not disrespect, no." The wait staff probably caught up with him. I mean, I'm no Columbo, I'm no Matlock, but you spit on me. That's just so gross. That is the grossest thing you can do to a person. No. Now, that being said, he didn't deserve to lose his life over it, if that's the alleged plot. Again, this is Mo speculation and not in the article, so again, take it with about 19 pounds of salt. Now, the loving mother said her son's phone location was not working before she filed a missing persons report. And welcome, Shizzy Raiders. Officials searching the resort found McAlmont's body, and it was discovered on the shoreline of Paradise Island with no vital signs of life just after 5:30 a.m. on April 5th, according to the Royal Bahamas Police Force. An investigation was opened into the cause of death. Officials are not declaring the death as a murder until the results of the autopsy are released, according to the outlet. Now, a photo of his body on the beach was taken and shown to his mother, which she claimed was the hardest thing she ever had to do, as her son looked unrecognizable with his injuries. "When I looked at the photo they showed me, my son was beaten. He was traumatized." Michelle McAlmont told the Bahamian outlet Eyewitness News. The grieving mother said the photo captured her son's facial damage with froth on his teeth and sand in his hair. "That tells me that they, laid hands on my son in the sand. I need justice for my baby. I need that justice," she added. Now, Michelle McAlmont said that she was left with mixed emotions, feeling anger, frustration, and a lot of hatred after her son's death. "What could I have done differently to protect my child and keep him safe that he would be alive today?" McAlmont's parents were searching for a lawyer who specializes in international relations while awaiting the outcome of the police investigation. "I would expect nothing more than a full and thorough investigation," McAlmont said. Now, the Bahamian resort said it is working with the police during this investigation. Quote, "We are deeply saddened by the passing of one of our guests. Our thoughts and condolences are with the guest's family and loved ones during this, difficult time." Now, the U.S. Department of State advised Americans against traveling to the Bahamas, placing a level 2 threat advisory on the Caribbean nation. The exercise increased caution level was announced on March 30th, as the country has experienced serious crimes and deaths against tourists visiting the island. Violent crimes like armed robberies, burglaries, and SAs can occur anywhere in the Bahamas, or anywhere really, but there is a higher frequency statistically in the Bahamas. Now, the specific warnings, cited two main cities in the Bahamas, Nassau and Freeport. Yeah, how about spitting him? I'm telling you, there are some places where you don't disrespect people. And I'm not saying that spitting on someone deserves that. I'm not justifying that. But some people don't get told no at home until someone bigger tells them no in real life. That's what parents are for. We are supposed to be that soft cushion that kind of says, hey, you can't be disrespectful. Because in the real world, someone might throw hands. You might go to jail. We are that soft guiding that's supposed to say, hey, don't spit on people. I don't care what a person looks like. You speak with them with dignity and respect. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. From the janitor to the CEO. I don't care. You show respect and manners. And you obviously didn't teach your son that. So allegedly he spit on people, but I'm going to say she admitted it. So, all right, Lord Chippy attendants, we have a very special guest for you. And while you're working, just go ahead and feel free to order a McGriddle if you want, because you know what's important in All righty. I'll have a McGriddle. A man fearing a break-in says that 911 dispatcher was ordering McDonald's breakfast during his trespass call. So again, feel free to go to McDonald's, take phone calls. I mean, y'all are busy. You are busy people. A Georgia man was trying to report a possible break-in in his home and called 911, but the dispatcher who took the call was apparently distracted by a McDonald's order at the time, as you do. Look, who can say no to a McGriddle, honestly? I mean, it's the perfect thing. It's, two breads without syrup that you have to get all sticky. Perfect breakfast. Local CBS affiliate WTOC recently conducted an investigation into possible issues at the 911 call center in Georgia's Chatham County. According to the report, quote, thousands, end quote, of calls ended up being abandoned by callers every month due to lack of responsiveness by dispatchers. But in the case of one caller, the dispatcher picked up while she was seemingly dividing her attention between a frightened citizen and her McMuffin. Now, Dylan Johnson spoke to WTOC about the investigation and shared his experience with the 911 dispatcher in question. He made his call on February 14th, 2025, when he and his wife were home, or when his wife was home alone, and she thought she heard someone trying to break into their home in Windsor Forest, Georgia. He told WTOC, quote, my wife called me while I was at work at about 9:30 and said someone was snooping around the house, knocking on the doors, banging on windows and stuff. He added, I was panicking. My wife is at home with my 5-month-old daughter, and I was not home. I was coming home not knowing what I was going to come home to. Now, after calling the county's non-emergency line, he tried 911 3 times. When someone finally picked up his call for help, the dispatcher can be heard talking to other people and apparently placing a breakfast order, saying, McGriddle, and then she'd turn back to Johnson. I'm sorry, what? I mean, it's not like he had anything going. It was just a, strange man around the house. I mean, she had to get breakfast. She is carb loading for a marathon of, not answering calls because she is busy and worth it. She is manifesting, not calling the phone. Heifer. Now, police did respond to Johnson's home. Johnson told WTOC that by the time that they had gotten there, the alleged trespasser was gone. His family was shaken but safe. WTOC spoke to Chatham County Chairman Chester Ellis and asked him about the McGriddle call, to which he responded, quote, that should have never happened, okay? Your ordering breakfast should be different from answering a call. The two should never entwine, end quote. Ellis told WTOC that the incident was under review. Now, Law and Crime did reach out to Elias for an update on the review, but did not get an immediate response. And Betsy Weingartner, some people can multitask. Like me, I'm ignoring my husband while listening to Mo in the Deep End. Awesome sauce. Thank you so much, MLS. I can't multitask. I'm going to be really honest with you, though I do find that it's probably a weird thing for me, but when I'm writing notes, I can audio remember everything that was said in the conversation, regardless of whatever notes I write. So my friends in high school didn't believe this. So one day I said, I will write just gibberish notes, just basically things I see around the classroom, and we'll see if I can remember everything that was said in the lecture. And they're like, that's not possible. So I was writing things like, Someone sits on backpack, feet up, Coke open, things like that, just random notes. And I let them look at it and I said, all right, look at this. I looked at the line and I was like, okay, you were talking about this. He was talking about this. And someone was shuffling over on the other side of the room. And they're like, you are weird. And I said, I know, detriment or superpower, who knows? I always thought my mutant X power would be like Storm and I could control the weather. I didn't realize I was only going to get hot flashes. I mean, this is not fair. Why did I want to be an adult again? Who knows? Well, don't order Pringles and, a Coke if your card won't run because you'll be kicked off of Ryanair quick, fast, and in a hurry. Or as Jamie says, chip, chop, chip. A couple ordered Pringles, a Coke, and a water on their flight. Then they were escorted off the plane by police. As you do. Because, of course, why not? A British couple learned the hard way that the price of airline snacks might be their dignity. On March 8th, a couple was escorted off of their Ryanair flight from Tenerife, Spain, en route to Bristol, UK, after being unable to pay for the snacks they acquired on board, according to a report from SWNS via the New York Post. Now, the wife, Anne Marie Murray, 55, had ordered Pringles, a bottle of water, and a Coca-Cola for nearly $9. But when she went to pay, she claims the in-flight payment system was not accepting her credit card, and the couple did not have enough cash among them to pay. Now, Murray's husband offered to pay for the snack when they landed in Bristol. I know that. That's why I want to be on the British Baking Show to host, but I'm afraid that I'm gonna need like a look. I don't really post nothing on Twitter, so to be honest, I think I'm good. It's this mouth that I'm gonna need to deal with. I don't know if I'm gonna survive, and I wouldn't survive in the UK. They'd be like, "Ma'am, did you make a look?" And I'd be like, "Look, I'm sorry, my body does this. I'm allergic to stupid, okay?" To be fair, that's also why I'm not a lawyer, because while this brain is okay, this face is 100% contempt. Again, I start to hear stupid and my eye twitches, my lip goes, it's just, look, it's not good. Now, the flight crew reportedly declined this alternative and accused the couple of refusing to pay. The passengers alleged that the crew took their boarding passes and told them that police would be waiting for them when they touched down in the UK. As promised, the police boarded the aircraft. Hey, UK, look, I'm an outsider, I'm a Yank, I'm a ingrate, if you will, but it seems to me like y'all have a couple issues that are much bigger. I think, what is it? Birmingham hasn't had its trash picked up in weeks, to the point where y'all are going to grow botulism and bring back the Black Plague. Not to mention Jess Phillips, the care and safety, minister, decided that, well, a national inquiry that was promised was just not good enough right at the end of Parliament. Yes, I do OD on UK news. It's funner than American news sometimes. Any hoozle, no, UK, you have no problems going on. I'm sure you can, spare police from, arresting people over hurdy words. I thought it was a joke when the crew said that they called the police, she explained, but I was shocked when the police came aboard and said we were asked to leave. I was so embarrassed. I had done everything I could to resolve it. I'm telling you, it's not our fault. We were entrapinated. Look, God made us smarter than the average bear, and we just can't stand stupid. Now, in a statement from Ryanair obtained by People, a spokesperson said, the crew of this flight from Tenerife to Bristol called ahead for police assistance after a passenger and her travel companion failed to pay for their food and drinks on board. As a result, they became disruptive toward crew and failed to follow reasonable crew requests. Now, Murray claims that she was not disruptive per SWNS and that there were no raised voices between her husband, and the flight crew. In a video of the altercation obtained by People, Murray could be heard telling the police officers that the situation was a silly misunderstanding. She also added that A pair of passengers on the flight informed her and her husband that the card payment system had been broken for the previous flight as well. However, the airline refuted the claim that the pay system was malfunctioning, alleging, quote, there were no issues with the card payment terminals on board this flight and no other passenger encountered any difficulty by making payments. Murray has also asked for CCTV footage of the incident, but was allegedly told that the airline could not release the video. Yeah, they can't release the video because they didn't yell and cause a scene. Had they done that, they would have released it quick, fat, and in a hurry. Well, in good news and yay, Michigan, a missing Michigan woman, 74, who vanished after a casino trip was found alive stranded in the woods 3 days later. What in the Walmart rapture happened here? A 74-year-old Michigan woman who was missing for 3 days has been found alive after vanishing. Okay, Dave, quick question. Michigander or Michigonian or Michiganite? Michiganist? Michigonian? I know Michigander is what I hear Gretchen Williams, or yeah, Governor Gretchen saying, but the woman bothers me, so I never take anything she says, at full value. That Okay, thanks. I thought it was Michigander. I think Michigonian sounds fun. Michiganist. Look, I can't make any jokes. I mean, they call us Hoosiers and we have no idea where it came from. Not one. Now, on Sunday, April 6th, Norton Shores Police Department put out a news release asking for the public's help in locating a missing woman, Nancy Bloomquist, who was a resident of the city. Police said that the elderly woman had been reported missing under concerning circumstances and was last known to have traveled, just in case they copyright that video, to the Liberal River Casino in Mantasee on April 3rd. Now, surveillance footage shows her leaving the casino at approximately 5:30 p.m. local time and driving southbound on US 31. She has not been seen or heard from since, the police said in a post, adding that she was driving a white 2024 GMC Terrain. Now, on Monday, April 7th, the Mason County Sheriff's Office confirmed in a news release shared on Facebook that the missing Norton Shores person had been found alive after officers had been called to a reported burned vehicle south of County Line Road, west of Morton Road in Mason County, Grant Township, at around 1:57 p.m. that day. The post, which didn't name Bloomquist, continued at 7:08 p.m. The missing person was located by a drone roughly 150 yards from her vehicle in a heavily wooded area, lying down next to a tree. It was confirmed that this person was the missing person from Norton Shores, Michigan. She was found alive and was talking to deputies at the scene. It was learned through interviews, surveillance video, and a trail camera near a seasonal home that the victim had left Little River Casino on Thursday, presumably to return to Norton Shores, police added, stating the woman had become lost and ended up on a long driveway of a seasonal home. While attempting to get turned around, the vehicle became disabled and caught fire. Caught fire? How does a car just catch fire? I mean, I know there's a reason. I'm not a carologist. I get it, but still, this woman just had crap luck. When she attempted to return to her car, she became lost. The trail cam captured the vehicle driving in and the victim walking out. Video evidence showed that she did not return, police continued. She laid down next to a downed tree seeking shelter during Thursday night's rain. She became cold to the point that she could not get back to her feet Friday, and she remained lying on the ground until she was found Sunday. Officer said, sharing a release, no, it was a 2024 white GMC Terrain. Oh, well, I mean, rural areas can be really confusing, especially if you don't know. They're all windy, there's T-stops. It's it's it, it is a skill to learn how to drive in rural areas. Most people stick to the middle of the road. It's just the thing. It's incredible, and she's incredibly lucky that she's still alive. I don't know her, but she's a tough gal. Mason County Sheriff Kim Cole told local media outlet WZZM 13 on your side. Now, Cole told the outlet the distance from the casino to where Bloomquist was found was probably only 15 miles or so, saying that she had survived amid cold weather conditions. Now, the outlet reported that Bloomquist's brother said that his sister had hit her head after falling out of bed the day before she went missing, so he believes that the disappearance might be linked to her having a concussion. He said that she didn't want to be treated at the hospital at the time and wanted to just go to the casino instead. Now, Mason County Sheriff's Office did not immediately respond when contacted by people, but thank goodness they found her. Please get that head wound or head, bump checked out. It's scary. Head wounds are bad. Okay. Now, y'all, this headline is magical. I want to write it down. I want to live with this headline because this is how we get final form Jesus. You want final form Jesus, y'all. This is how we get final form Jesus. He's disappointed at all of us. An Australian surgeon was fined $10,000 for sharing a picture of a coma patient's bad guy from WW2, symbol, his kind of favorite, symbol, on his schmeckle. And I'm going to call it a schmeckle because if you have one of them on your ween, you probably don't like Jewish people, so I'm going to use Yiddish. Now, a doctor in Australia found himself stuck between a rock and a hard place. Or a cock and a case. A cock and a case, let's be honest. New York Post, I'm free to help you with puns at any time. A Queensland surgeon was reprimanded and slapped with a $10,000 fine for taking a photo of a coma patient's peen that featured a, not so great symbol, then sharing it in a WhatsApp group chat, according to New Zealand Herald. Now, the tattooed patient required orthopedic surgery. If he's in a coma, why does he need orthopedic surgery? I mean, I'm not trying to be dead. Oh, maybe he's in like a recent coma, not like a Robert De Niro coma that he was in for years. Okay, never mind. Answer my own question. Thanks for having this multiple personality conversation with Mo. Now, oh gosh, he was trying to lose a Darwin Award. Okay, the tattooed patient required orthopedic surgery in April 2019 after a pipe improvised IED exploded while he was making it in his hands. I mean, well, why would you be making pipe exploderators at home? Now, he was intubated and placed in a medically induced coma while recovering in intensive care when the surgeon noticed the hateful tattoo. He then took matters into his own hands. He handled him, if you will, because you would have to move that to frame the bad symbol in there. Like, did he do landscape or portrait? How many times did he do it? Did he do panorama? He took matters into his own hands and shared the picture of the patient's apparently anti-Semitic private parts in a group chat with other co-workers, the Herald reported. Now, the scandal flew under the radar until the Office of Health Ombudsman. What the hell is an ombudsman? Someone from the UK, explain what the hell this is. What is an ombudsman? Okay, I don't know. But anyway, had received a tip about the bizarre ordeal in 2020. The department launched an investigation and found the surgeon's actions had, quote, no clinical or medical purpose. Yeah, it's sad because, if you reverse it, it's actually a sacred symbol in other cultures, and ignorant Americans go over to India and don't realize that, and then they're stupid. But that being, oh, thank you very much, Audio Coffee. I was like, maybe he takes care of roses? He nips it in the bud. That's what he does. Now, the tribunal overseeing the controversy recognized that the surgeon had expressed regret for the private part photo sharing, but the doctor was still fined a whopping 10 grand and reprimanded. The patient was unconscious and particularly vulnerable. And Jim Barton says, an ombudsman is a government employee who investigates and tries to resolve complaints, usually through recommendations or mediations. They're usually appointed by the government. It sounds good in theory. How effective are they really? Are they really solving problems, or are they pushing paper and making more, Zoom meetings that you have to attend that could have been an email? Asking for a friend. Now, the patient was unconscious and particularly vulnerable, yes. But he also tried to build a pipe explosive and tattooed his schmeckle. So I say, on balance, the orthopedic surgeon saved his hands. He gets a schmeckle shot, although that doesn't sound as good as it should. And Fedorowski says, in Norway, there's an ombudsman in many different circumstances, but similar fashion. I think when I'm Empress of America, I'm going to make ombudsman just because it's an interesting word to say. Although I won't be able to say it when I'm tipsy. But there are a lot of words you can't say when you're tipsy. And thank you for being a member for 11 months, Marissa. You are fully a deacon now, so spread the good work, or the good word of the Church of Mo. We have dark chocolate sarcasm, and we ask you to keep your audio assault weapons, aka plastic flute recorders, at home, please, and light touch on the patchouli oil. Thanks so much for being such a great support all this time, and hopefully you will see me, continue to be a semi-functional human being. You guys, I got my highlight reel done today. This is 2 weeks in a row. I'm so proud of me. I know this is, random, but getting my highlight reel done and all I have to do is upload it is really, a big goal that I've been setting for myself every Wednesday. And, you guys know I'm a chaos demon, so I'm just proud I was able to do it 2 weeks in a row. This is a sweet story. We needed a bit of a sweet story. Bride surprises grandparents by featuring a childhood lemonade stand they built for her at her wedding. Oh, this is going to make me cry. Cue the Sarah McLachlan movie or music. I will remember. She sings in the back of her throat. It's in that voice, or in that song. It's a weird thing. Lily Perrin's grandpa had been retired for 10 years when one day he decided to, his woodworking shop was a little too quiet. He really wanted to make something special for his grandchildren, and after going back and forth, he decided to design a lemonade stand to give them for Christmas. The Iowa local, not only through his grandchildren, would enjoy the stand, but he also saw many learning opportunities in it: work ethic, social skills, responsibility, handling money, product selection, and learning how to turn sales into profit. Of course, there was also decision-making, problem-solving, and learning how to work together with my brothers and sisters. So in 2010, when Prinz was 9, her grandparents searched the web for ideas and found one that they liked. Grammy sourced the fabric and made the awning and created the curtains. The rest was building and painting something the whole family could be proud of. Quote, I always felt like the coolest kid in the neighborhood because I'd never seen such an impressive lemonade stand before. I loved selling lemonade, and I remember when I made my first real chunk of money and got excited about it. My mom is super crafty, so growing up, my sister, my mom, and I would make handmade brooches and these little wire rings to also sell at the stand. I also remember loving hanging out with my siblings and selling lemonade together. It was a good lesson in splitting what we made too, since it was a joint effort, the Des Moines local added. Eventually, as years passed, Prinz and her siblings outgrew the stand, and her parents stored it in the garage, refusing to part with it. Last year, when Prinz's wedding day approached, her mom had the brilliant idea to surprise her grandparents, family, and friends by using the lemonade stand to serve drinks at the wedding. Upon hearing the idea, Prinz thought it was an incredibly sentimental way to honor her grandparents and add a fun element to her wedding. Since most of her family and friends already knew about the lemonade stand, ooh, I like it. See, I'm learning it's etymology, or is it histology? To be fair, I'm learning the breakdown of words. Oh, no, yes, it's etymology because entomology is bugs. Welcome to this detour into vocabulary with Mo. Then on Prince's wedding day, June 2nd, 2024, she finally pulled off the surprise. It was instant tears from both of my grandparents, which instantly made me cry too, Prin recalls. It was such a special, unplanned moment. We just happened to be outside getting portraits done when they arrived. My incredible photographer, Laura, noticed the moment and instantly started taking photographs. I was so grateful she caught it in so many candid shots. Uh, I was just thinking to myself, I wonder how they feel after gifting this to us when I was 9 years old, and now they're seeing it at our wedding, she added. So much life has happened since then. I will forever cherish that memory. It's also just a sweet reminder that I'm so lucky to still have my grandparents around and maintain that special relationship with them. That's not something everyone has, and I never want to take that for granted. Now, Prince's grandparents had or add how on the wedding day when they saw Prince in the distance, they noticed the lemonade stand and their hearts were overwhelmed. We knew right then and there why we made it. They told people, "Your wedding day was beautiful, Lily, and we love you with our whole heart." Oh, this is so cute. Recently, the Prince photographer Laura Wills took to TikTok to share some of the photos that she snapped of the special moment. Not long after posting, the video went viral, amassing more than 141,000 views. Quote, cutest thing I've ever seen, crying emoji. Since the video went viral, Prince said it's been so wholesome to read through the comments and see how much the story has touched people. Both my grandparents have loved seeing the comments and can't believe that after all these years, the world has seen the lemonade stand, she says. My grandpa said people have been generous with their kindness and they keep on acknowledging just how special your wedding has been. She continued, I showed my grandma some of the comments about her looking absolutely stunning, and she looks like a warm hug. And she said, oh my goodness, Lil, now I'm crying. Now, almost a year later, Prinz adds that she and her husband are expecting their first baby, a girl, in late summer, and of course, she will be working at that lemonade stand someday. I can't wait to keep it in the family, Prinz says. It seems like it's full circle. Especially with the photo and the reels going viral, I just hope people can feel the joy and love through our story and something to brighten people's spirits at a time where it feels like there's never something sweet happening on social media. Well, I mean, it's social media. And holy God, of course, it's Florida. What the heck? Again, y'all, what the heck is going on with Florida? I mean, that isn't usual Florida. A Florida beach goer was screaming bloody murder after a Jeep Wrangler ran over his head and body while sunbathing. Yeah, I believe I would be too. I'm confused, but I think that's a normal reaction if you get run over screaming. I do believe that this is an update on a previous story. Yes, okay, so this is going to be an update on a previous story. This was Colson Janey, 33. He was allegedly run over by a 61-year-old woman attempting to park her Wrangler on Ormond Beach, where the beachgoer was soaking up the sun. Now, so this was not the same one, but there have been several incidents of people running over people on the beach. Now, I didn't think you were allowed to drive on the beach. I could be wrong, but I thought the beach was for people, not cars. I guess I maybe had fallen asleep for a little bit, and when I woke up to a tire going over my head, Janie told a local outlet from his hospital bed Monday. I was just screaming, screaming my head off, screaming bloody murder, of course, because I was just in so much pain. Now, the Jeep driver was reportedly attempting to back into a parking spot when she veered off the travel lanes into the sand. How the hell do you, like, how bad are you at parallel parking that you go all the way onto El Bicho? Linda Sturmer, is that you? Linda, did you do this? Because she's the only one that I can think that would run over their husband to go get help for said husband. So is this a Linda Sturmer thing? Linda? Linda. Janie recalled feeling like he had two brains after he was barreled over by the more than 4,100 pound car. And today's schedule is going to be starting at 10. We will continue on day 7 of the Linda Sturmer trial. Be prepared because we still have the son that we started off with, hippie Jesus, Trevor, and then I believe there's one more son. And that testimony is supposed to be spicy. So let's strap in, get your emotional support beverage and or, enhancement, and join me over there because it's going to be an emotional one. It seems like from what I was seeing yesterday, not hippie Jesus, but the next son dropped some mother effing tea and apparently told Linda he read her for filth and then more called her out her name. I mean, he was in full F deficit. Okay, let's see here. Janie then looked over and he saw his forearm was flattened and his leg was mangled. I now have a forearm that's broken in 2 places, he told the local outlet. Both bones in my forearm, a clean break, and then my femur, which was broken, and they had to put a titanium rod in yesterday. He also suffered bruising to his face and body. Now, the Jeep driver, who waited at the scene and cooperated with investigators, has since been cited with careless driving. You think? Noting that there were no signs of impairment. The investigators into the near-catastrophic mishap remain ongoing. Janie, however, feels fortunate to live another day and looks forward to making a full recovery. I'm just thankful to be alive, he told the outlet, and able to walk again someday. No, someone needs to go to do something. And our final story, and look, this isn't a happy one, but dude, you dodged a bullet. Look, you're crying now, but you dodged an MFing bullet, okay, sir? In a year from now, you're going to come back to Mama Mo and you're going to say, you know what? I dodged a bullet because she is 10 pounds of crazy in a 1-pound sack and she is nuttier than 2 cats tied together, okay? So, sir, the fact that you are not tied to this woman for 18 years is a plus. I know you're sad now, but when you're not dealing with crazy and child support and crazy. Ryan Anderson cried when he saw Gypsy Rose Blanchard's paternity test results. He thought that he had at least a 10% chance of being a dad. You do, with someone else, not her. Welcome, Tracy Spencer. Gypsy Rose Blanchard's ex Ryan Anderson candidly shared his reaction to seeing Blanchard's paternity results. During the latest episode of Gypsy Rose, Life After Lockup, Anderson shared his reaction to seeing the 33-year-old reality star's paternity test results online. In the confession, he said that he was 90% sure that he wasn't the father of her baby and opened up about the pain of seeing her name beside someone else's. Quote, when those results came back, that was hard for me to see. I cried when I saw that, Anderson said. It was hard for me to look at that piece of paper because she still had my last name. It says Gypsy Rose Alicia Anderson. And the father, Ken, whatever his name is. It just hurt to see her name with someone else as the dad. Dude, frame that shit. Frame that shit. This woman is crazy. Run as fast as you can. Or look, as us fluffy people do, shuffle fastly. Okay? Block her, never think about her again, and go find you a good woman who's not out of lockup. Maybe look for women who aren't in prison right now for just thought. So there you go. I mean, what in the name of Cheetos did she do to her hair? Okay. Well, I mean, look, I'm happy for Gypsy Rose. I hope that someone is watching that baby, because yikes. Yikes, more in that she never had a normal family to model off, so she is going in blind with all of this. So, as much as I joke about her, as much as I, do all that, I do hope that she thrives and she was given a second chance. Now, if she could just open her ridiculous mouth to try to get some leniency for John, or go to John, her accomplice whom she, manipulated, an autistic boy, into unaliving her mother. If she could, maybe seek out some justice on that. I get that she has a kid now, but she really hasn't said nothing, and it's kind of gross. She manipulated the hell out of that boy. She was the mastermind. That being said, that is the final story. I hope they are happy. I hope that the Dominican Republic families get some answers and closure, and that maybe they find some people that were stuck. I hope that you all have a good day, and you will be redirected over to the Petty Express. We will be covering Linda Sturmer's, day 7, and we are getting into some juicy tea and unfortunately some emotional rough stuff. The We are at the point where the children that were in the house at the time, or at least living in the house at the time of the incident, are now coming forward as grown men and telling their side of the story and what they observed in the family dynamics. So it is definitely going to be a little bit of a rough ride. So, as always, if you haven't heard it or need to hear it today from a mama, you are loved just as you are. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others, but have a sassy mouth and carry a can of bitch fire, because kindness doesn't equal doormat, my lovelies. Bye, you guys.